Hey, what's up? How you doing today? Tinkering in the junk barn, making some waste oil diesel fuel, and just thought I'd show you my first few steps on how to make this stuff. And keep in mind, I'm not the best at making this stuff. I'm still learning as I go along, and I've been tinkering with it, as I have time in my spare time. Off and on, the last 3 years or so. So just bear that in mind, and learning as I go. So I have not fooled with much used cooking oil. I've mostly done used motor oil and used transmission fluid. In my limited experience, the used cooking oil is the hardest to filter because it's thicker. And right now I'm doing used transmission fluid because it's the easiest, and it's November, so it's kind of cool. It's that time of year, so I'm like, I'll save the other thicker stuff for summer when it's nice and hot out, and thin it down a little bit. But anyway, one of my first steps is I made these strainers out of some scrap wood my dad had laying around, some real thin stuff, right? And I used some scrap screen. So I stapled it, and then I used those lathe type screws with the big head on it and some big washers to help hold it on there, and then drill a hole in it because you want to hang it up and let it drip after you've used it to try and dry it out. These are the first ones I made. They've kind of taken a beating. This one, the screen's about to fall off, and that's 5 layers, I believe. So it's doing a pretty good job to strain it. And they kind of this one's holding up okay, except for the screen falling off. I may try to mend that and use it some more. But this one's kind of cracking where I drilled the hole. And because you're always having to, as it loads up, you're always having to like smack it on the side of the wall to try and get some of that crap out of there as you're going along. But anyway, I used these and made them this size because they fit my two biggest funnels I've got. So yeah, the bigger the funnel, the better. So if I go to like a fish fry or turkey fry or whatever, I can use those and try to keep the biggest crap out. So then the next step in this process, that's homemade, so that's cheap, unless you got to buy a big funnel or something. But the next step is these bucket strainers that fit in a 5-gallon bucket. I'm using the first one I use is a 25 micron. That was the first one I ever bought. I got it off of eBay. Yeah, before the pan dang it, and way before Sloppy Joe Obama and Scamala Harris got in there. So I think that one was like less than $20. It might have been closer to 15 or less. It might have been less than 15. But that one, it flows pretty quick, especially with that transmission fluid. So since it's so fast, I stopped using just the bucket part. So see where I've got this arrow. I drilled about a 7/8 hole with a hole saw, and that way a cork will fit in it for when I'm not using it. And I've got it dripping in. I've got a real small funnel that's catching that. I also used a piece of I think a scrap piece of like milk carton to help, and I got this wire to help some airflow. But this is kind of a semi-clear tank, 15-gallon tank I've got, and I'm almost up to 6 gallons. So it goes pretty quick with that 25 micron. So let's see, in the top I've got a like a scrap shop towel. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 layers of screen I cut out to fit that. In the very bottom I've got 2 coffee filters that my sister gave me. So that's just to help. I've also got one of those little round magnets that comes out of a transmission pan in there. I try to pour it right on that magnet when I'm pouring it in there, but that's just to kind of help keep the bucket strainer from loading up as bad. And then, that rag and coffee filters, you can just throw those out. Because you're going to have to clean it eventually, even though I've gone through about 6 gallons and it's still going. So you can kind of hear it dripping if You can hear it over the airplane. But anyway, here's what they look like when they're new, or well, when they're clean, and I should say. It looks like that. And it holds about I don't know, a gallon and a half or whatever. But you definitely want to mark it just masking tape and a Sharpie, because the stickers will come off. So I used to just use that, go down to 10 micron, and then I've got an '06 Volkswagen Jetta with the 1.9 turbo diesel 4-cylinder, and I used to do 20% and 40% mixes, and I was only straining it down to 10 microns, which is not good. So I didn't do that a lot, and that was just in a 5-gallon bucket. So now I've got, can't really see it, I've got a pump back there in the back, in the shadow there, and that first filter takes it down to 10 microns, so I can go from my 25 to 10, and then this is a whole house water filter that takes it down to 1 micron. So, which still isn't good enough. You can get a half micron filter for that, but I want to get eventually get see if I can find a used centrifuge of some sort. My friend has a brand new one still in the box, I think he's never used, and I keep bugging him, say, hey, we got to put that thing to good use. I can bring you what I'm doing, and man, it definitely is quicker, easier to have. If you can get somebody to help you, you'll be able to get a lot more done, because trying to do this all by myself is kind of a joke sometimes. It's like, how much time do I want to waste trying to save a buck? But I guess it's cool because you're putting a waste product to good use, sort of recycling it instead of just throwing it out. And of course, commercial companies can can put it to good use. But anyway, try to find. So what I'll do is I'll take that tank when it gets about half full, because I don't want it to be totally full. 15 gallon, that'd be kind of heavy. And I'll put try to find some containers with one of these slick industrial type caps, because that's got a 3/4 inch pipe thread already in it from the factory, and then you just have to drill it out because it's sealed. But then you can put some plumbing parts in it. These kind are okay. They're better, better than nothing, but they're not quite as heavy duty, not quite as tough as some of the other ones, but it works. So I had to drill that one out too. But you can put a valve. So I'll take and put it up on this shelf up here, plug my pump hose, wherever it is, into that, and then I can switch the valve on, and it feeds the pump. Gravity feeds the pump, and then switch the pump on and use this guy, which this is coming very handy. That came with a 12-volt pump for collecting waste oil that I haven't even used that pump yet, but I've used this quite a bit. It works really well. So at first, when I hooked this up and got the pump, at first I just had that 10 micron filter. Well, I got the better 1 micron filter too at the same time, but at first I just had them set up. I set up the 10 by itself, and then that by itself, but that was a pain because you had to do it twice. But when it just had the 1 filter at a time and using like thicker motor oil, this was back in the warmer weather, it was fast. I was like, this is great, man. You can filter this stuff quick. So, but when I daisy chained them together, put them together in series like that, it slowed down quite a bit. So I haven't done the transmission fluid yet, but I'm sure it'll be quicker. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, that's one way to get started doing it. It's pretty simple. It's not complicated. It's just time consuming and messy. I've got another valve here I want to set up on a 55-gallon drum, and I may just take a scrap junk nasty bucket and maybe just cut this top part off of it. I mean, come down a few inches somewhere, maybe cut it in half somewhere in the middle, and make it fit down in that 55-gallon drum, because you can get those same type strainers to fit a 55-gallon drum if you want. But I just haven't gotten around to that yet. And this thing's so fast that I haven't really needed it to go faster yet. But Anyways, if you're looking for more information, just jump on Facebook. There's a group on there called Waste Oil Burning Diesels, I think is what it's called. But it's a national, international Facebook page, and there's always guys on there talking about it, asking questions, and giving advice and tips. So that's your best source for info. So anyway, I'm rambling. So hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Have a good day. See ya.